seated. Let's go to the Word. John chapter 6, verse number 1. John chapter 6, verse number 1. It says, sometime after this, Jesus crossed to the far shore of the Sea of Galilee, that is, the Sea of Tiberias. And a great crowd of people followed him because they saw the signs he had performed by healing the sick. Then Jesus went up on the mountainside and sat down with his disciples. The Jewish Passover festival was near, and when Jesus looked up and saw a great crowd coming toward him, he said to Philip, "Where shall we buy bread for these people to eat?" He asked him only to test him, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. Philip answered him, "It would take more than half a year's wages to buy enough bread for each one to have a bite." Another of the disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up and said, "Here is a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish, but how far will they go among so many?" Jesus said, "Have the people sit down." There was plenty of grass in that place, and they sat down. About 5,000 men were there. Jesus then took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed to those who were seated as much as they wanted. He did the same with the fish. And when they had all had enough to eat, he said to the disciples, "Gather the pieces that are left over. Let nothing be wasted." So they gathered them, and they filled 12 baskets with the pieces of the 5 barley loaves left over by those who had eaten. After the people saw the sign Jesus performed, they began to say, "Surely this is the prophet who has come into the world." I want us to go back up, though, if you don't mind, Rocky, and let's focus on verse number 6. Well, let's go to 5. It says, when Jesus looked up and saw a great crowd coming towards him, he said to Philip, "Where shall we buy bread for these people to eat?" And then verse 7, when Philip answered, he said, "It would take a half a year's wages to buy enough bread for each one to have a bite." Come on and look at somebody beside you and say, "Your math is messed up."
Your math is messed up.
Yeah, look at somebody on the other side and say, "Your math is messed up." I said, "Yours, not yours." School is not fun. I know there are a few teachers' pets in here that won't agree, but I think most of us can give me an amen to the statement that school kicks rocks. Stop doing what you're doing with it. Now, the time in the hall is great, and after school activities are the best, and parties and movie days and free periods and lunch are all right, but actually going to school and going to class and doing schoolwork is really not fun. If we could stay in the pizza line all day, it would be great. And if we watch the movie every period, then okay. But when that chalk dust starts flying and that dry eraser marker starts squeaking, or when we start taking one quiz and passing one back, school becomes one of our least favorite things to do. For the last few years, I've been trying to work myself up to going back to school for my master's degree, but I haven't signed up yet because I know that school is not fun. If you think it's fun, then I'm worried to death about you, because it's hard work, it's demanding, it's assignments and papers and research and footnotes, and it's deduction and logic and syllabi and outlines, it's lectures and it's reading and it's attestations and addendums, it's chemicals and compounds and chapters and synopsis, and it's book bags and fees and financial aid and counselors, it's homework and class work and tests and exams. School is not fun. And then there's math.
Come on now.
Yeah, math.
Yeah.
I need somebody to shake your head if you got a problem with math like me and just say math.
Math.
Yeah, I believe that math ranks up pretty high as one of the worst parts of school. Algebra, calculus, geometry, and computation. Oh yeah, that's fancy words, but if we go way back, math was still bad when it was just fractions and decimals and exponents and timetables. It's bad on every level. One of the worst whoopings I ever got, I got behind a times table. My My daddy told me, he said, when I come home today, I need you to know those 2 times tables. And maybe that's why I hate math so bad. Math is truly one of the most challenging and frustrating subjects in school. And then to make it worse, Tasha, you all add word problems to math. Words and math. And the only thing that I can hear my teacher saying to me over and over saying is, your math is messed up. I approached the problem the wrong way. I attempted to find a solution incorrectly. My math was messed up. Is that anybody else's problem in the house today? Is it anybody in here that could never figure out the right way to get the right answer? Yeah, okay, I got some people like me. We were attempting to solve the problem with messed up math. But can I just be honest with you? I'm afraid that sometimes my math might still be messed up. Because when I look at my life and when I look at where I want to go and the things that I want to accomplish, I begin to add it all up and I just can never figure out how to get the right answer. Yeah. I begin to add it all up and I just can never figure out how to get there the right way. I think, Jarrell, that the math for my life might be messed up. But this issue might just be like it was in school. Maybe I'm approaching the problem in the wrong way. Maybe I'm attempting to find the solution incorrectly. So it's not that what I want is wrong. It's not that the answer that I'm seeking is wrong. It's just that the math for my life is messed up. Yeah. And the Lord showed me through this next disciple, Philip, how easy it is for us to get confused when we problem solve with messed up math. Yeah. And the Lord showed me something here. He said, maybe I can't solve the problem in my house because my math is messed up. Maybe I can't figure out the formula on my job because my math is messed up. And maybe I can't calculate, mama, how to get out of debt because my math is messed up. Maybe, just maybe, your problem isn't unsolvable. Maybe you're just trying to solve it with messed up math. Can I just check the room right quick this morning and ask the question, is it anybody in here that's got a problem that you just can't solve? Yeah. Is it anybody in here that's got some stuff in your life that you can't get to add up right? Yeah. Is it somebody in here that's working with some numbers in your household that always seem to be a little bit off? Yeah. My whole life ain't adding up. And my retirement plan ain't adding up. And my grind equaling my return is not adding up. Yeah, let's not act like everything is peachy keen in here this morning. Let's be real. Will you holler back at me if you've got some problems that you've been trying to solve for a long time? Amen. No matter what you add or no matter what you subtract and no matter how you try to divide, you cannot find a solution. Right. Okay. Well, I think that Philip can help us today. We've talked about this text a few times as we learned about the disciples. This study has given us insight into the weaknesses of some of the strongest believers. I hope that we're learning about the delicate balance between faith and fault. Because even though we have faith, we still have faults. And today when we look at Brother Philip, although I know him to be a man of faith, I saw that when he brought Nathanael to Jesus. I realized in this story that he was also a man of fault. And the fault demonstrated in this text was that Philip was working with some messed up man. As they stand looking at 5,000 men to feed, plus the women and children that were with them. Jesus gives Philip a math test that year. He said, Philip, if you take 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread and you divide it by 5,000, what do you get? And Philip responded and said to Jesus, if you take 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread and you divide it by 5,000, then you get an unsolvable equation. Philip failed the math test because his math was messed up. See, Philip was just like you and me. He approached the problem wrong. He attempted to find the solution incorrectly. Let's take a look at where Philip's math got messed up. The first way that Philip's math was messed up was that he misunderstood the question. In math, it's very easy to mess up on a problem when you misunderstand the question. If the question asks me the rate of speed of 2 trains leaving the station, but I think it's asking for the total speed of the 2, then my answer is going to be wrong because I misunderstood the question. If the question asks me for the least common denominator, but I think it's asking me for the most common denominator, then my answer is going to be wrong simply because I misunderstood the question. And I propose today that this is what Philip did. When Jesus asked Philip, where shall we buy food for all these people to eat? Philip assumed that Jesus was asking him for a solution to the problem that included where to buy the food and how to pay for the food. He misunderstood the question, so his math ended up being messed up. When the word shall is used in the interrogative or is asked as a question in the Bible, then it's really asking for permission or better yet, direction. Jesus wasn't asking Philip for an answer. He was asking Philip for direction. All Philip had to do was tell Jesus to do it, and it would have been done. And the problem would have been solved. But Philip misunderstood the question and it messed his math up. When Jesus said to Philip, where shall we buy food for these people to eat? Philip should have said, we're not buying any bread, Jesus. You're going to come through. Philip thought the question was asking him to use a standard equation, but the question was asking him to use a come-through equation. Come on and say come-through equation.
Come-through equation.
That's why the math is messed up in our life. What we're misunderstanding about the problem that we're having is that God is not asking us how it's going to work out based on a standard equation, how the world thinks it's supposed to work out. No, God wants us to figure out our problem based on how it's going to work out with a come-through equation. If we give God permission or direction, then God is always going to come through. So stop trying to add and subtract week after week and just tell God to come through. Stop trying to increase your circle and divide your network and tell God to come through. I believe, Rodney, that God likes it when we're faced with a problem that seems unsolvable and we just step back with confidence and say, God, you just come through. Yeah, stop staying up worrying all night and tell God to come through. And stop trying to comprehend how it's all going to work out and tell God to come through. If you've got a problem that you cannot solve and you can hear what I'm preaching in the house today, then I need you just to open up your mouth real quick and say, God, I need you to come through.
God, I need you to come through.
Say that like you had no problem. If you got something going on that you got to face as soon as you leave here today, if you got a problem that you've been working on for a long time with no solution, then I need you to apply the come-through equation and look up towards the Lord and say, God, I need you to come through. 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 I need you to make a way for me. God, I need you to work it out for me. God, I give you permission to come through my situation. Y'all don't know how good that sounds when you say it. Come on, say, God, I give you permission to come through my situation.
Come through my situation.
I misunderstood the question. I was supposed to figure out. I misunderstood the question. I thought that it was supposed to make sense in my mind. And it got my math messed up. But now that I understand the question, I realize that I don't need an answer. I need a come through. I dare you to just lift up both your hands and give God a little bit of surrender. And say, God, you know what my problem is. And I just need you to come through. I'm not going home trying to work it out no more. I'm not going to work trying to show off to get promoted. I just need you to come through. I don't need nobody to find favor in me but you. I don't need nobody to open no doors that were shut from the backside. I just need to come through. I don't need no hookup from nobody. I just need my God to come through. Sometimes our math gets messed up because we misunderstand what the question is. And I just preach to you this morning. The question who God was and say, God, I need you to come through. I dare you to just hop on somebody. And say, I think I misunderstood my question. I think I misunderstood my question. I thought that God wanted me to do something. I thought that God was waiting on something from me. But all God was waiting for was for me to open up my mouth and say, what shall you do, God, about the question in my life? What shall you do, God, about the deficit in my finances? What shall you do, God, about what's going on in my relationship? Somebody look up towards glory and say, God, this question is for you.
God, this question is for you. Come through, God.
No more answers.
Hey!
No more formulas. No more computations. So I just throw up my hands. Now that I understand the question and say, I don't need a solution. I need a come through. It's easy, Tasha, when we misunderstand the question. The second way that our math gets real messed up, Mr. Paul, is because we forget what we know to be true. In math, when we define something as true at the beginning of the problem, then unless specified, that fact remains true. If x equals 6 at the beginning, then x will always equal 6. If a problem asks you to use a dozen of something, then before you even begin the problem, you know for a fact that a dozen means 12, and that's true. And when we forget what we know to be true, then our math gets messed up. Philip's math got messed up when he approached the problem forgetting what he knew to be true.
That's right, that's right.
It seems like Philip forgot every fact that he knew about Jesus. The Bible records 37 miracles performed by Jesus. And the feeding of the 5,000 was miracle number 19.
Come on.
So by the time this lunch at the shore of Galilee, Philip had already had many opportunities to learn and know the facts about Jesus. He knew Jesus had turned water into wine. He knew that Peter had healed. He had healed Peter's mother-in-law. He knew that Jesus had healed the man with the withered hand. He knew that Jesus made the sea and the wind take a time out in the corner. He knew that Jesus had cast out a legion of demons. He knew that Jesus had raised Jairus' daughter from the dead. Philip's math got messed up. He forgot what he knew about Jesus. He knew Jesus had power. He knew Jesus had authority. He knew Jesus could do anything. But somehow he forgot what he knew to be true. And this is what I want to remind you about your problems, the ones that you can't solve in your life. Don't let life get you so twisted that you forget what you know to be true. You know Jesus brought you out last time. You know that Jesus healed you when you got sick. You know that Jesus opened a door that was closed to you. Come on and look at somebody beside you with an attitude and say, don't forget what you know. Now I need you to look at them real sassy right now. Say, don't forget what you know.
Don't forget what you know.
I know that you're going through something right now. I know that the mountain looks mighty high that you got to climb. I know that the struggle has been long and it has been fierce. But God sent me here to tell somebody this morning that in the midst of your struggle, don't you forget what you know. You know Jesus got you out of the last mess. You know that Jesus kept you and your children. You know that that when I was down and out, when I was at my lowest, when nobody had time for me, the fact is that the only person I could call was Jesus. Don't you forget the fact. 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 I know what the application looks like. I know what your resume looks like. I know what your record looks like. But that's not all the facts. Don't you forget the fact that God's got all power. Don't you forget the fact that God puts you in the ground. So what makes you think that the facts on the paper is outweigh the facts in glory? Just open up your mouth and say, don't forget the facts.
Don't forget the facts.
Don't forget the facts. Because we can do it on now. The thing that the teachers don't tell you is just don't come up here with an answer. I need you to show your word. And when I look at Jesus and all the problems he's already solved, God has already shown his work. God has already shown what he was capable of. God has already shown what he can do. So if you're looking for somebody to help you with your math and show you some work, God's got a reputation for working out problem after problem. Is there anybody in this house that'll say, I believe my math and messed up a little bit? I forgot some stuff that God has already done. But can I remind you of just one more thing? I think there's one more thing that he forgot. When Jesus asked Philip how to feed him, Philip forgot about the multiplier. Because when you're in there, if you forget the multiplier, then the whole equation is going to be off. When you're doing that, if you forget the multiplier, then you're always going to come up with less than what you had if you didn't have it. Philip said we got 5,000 people, so we're going to need a half year's wage just to give them a bite to eat. But Philip's math was messed up because he forgot about his multiplier. Somebody say Jesus is the ultimate multiplier. Jesus is the ultimate multiplier. Do I have anybody in this house that he never multiplied anything in the world? Do I have anybody in this house that he ever took your little bit and made a whole lot of it? Anybody ever had a little bit of joy and God took it and multiplied it? Anybody ever had a little bit of love and God took it and multiplied it? Somebody say Jesus.
Jesus.
He's the ultimate multiplier. Because he took his love from me and he got up on Calvary and he multiplied. He took redemption's blood and he multiplied. He took the promises of God and he multiplied it. So if you think you can't make it with the little bit you got, you forgot your multiplier. If you think you're going under, just because it don't look like enough, you forgot the multiplier. When you just shake your finger at your neighbor and say, you forgot the multiplier. You forgot the multiplier. You got your math messed up. But you forgot the multiplier. And look back at the same person and say, we gotta go back again. Because we miscalculated. When I thought I was gonna make it, I miscalculated. When I thought it was over for me, I miscalculated. When I thought my family was going under, my math was messed up too. I miscalculated. Is there somebody in this house that'll say I'm getting a little shaky in my face? I
your history and the accounting in your past, you miscalculated. God is able. Above what the situation looks like, God is able. Above what it looks on paper, somebody throw your head back and say, I'm recalculating. I'm recalculating.
Recalculate.
I'm going to be protected. I'm going to the next level. I'm recalculating. I'm going to be healed. My marriage is going to be saved. Somebody throw your head back and say, I'm recalculating.
Recalculate.
I'm with a better solution. Because down is the end of a thing. And the beginning of the thing. I just need to recalculate. Because when I realized Grisha, is when they went back and recalculated, when Philip added in Jesus, instead of coming out in the negative, they came out in the overflow. When you recalculate, you end up with leftovers. And I don't know about you, but at the end of my month, I like to have some leftovers. At the end of the week, I like to have some leftovers. When you just hop out your neighbor for the last time and say, we're about to have leftovers.
About to have leftovers.
Recalculate. Recalculate. It ain't over for you. You got enough to make it. You got enough to take care of your children. You got enough skills to be promoted. You can go back to school. Recalculate what the enemy has placed in your mind is a faulty equation. His math is messed up. He forgot about my multiplier. He forgot about my divider. He forgot about the exponential that Jesus brings in my life. Somebody open up your mouth and say, my mind was messed up. But if you got a new calculation, if you got a new solution for your life, I dare you to tell my faith.
Thank you, God.
Please just switch it.
Yes!
Give me solution. I need you to
Hallelujah!
I need you to look at it differently. I need you to pass it like the enemy is different. And you recalculate it. And you come out on top. I need you to tell him faith.
Thank you, God.
If you recalculate it and you win in the end, I need you to tell him thank you.
Thank you, God.
Recalculate it and you don't cry all night tonight. I need you to tell him thank you.
Thank you, God.
Switch your mind.
Thank you, God.
Recalculate your life. Recalculate your strength. Recalculate your destiny. Recalculate your family. Recalculate your marriage. Recalculate your career. You mess up your marriage. You mess up your marriage. You come out in the positive. You come out with leftovers. You come out with overflow. It was just my name. God was able to do it all the time. It was my name. There was no issue with Jesus. There was no issue with the 2 fish. There was no issue with the 5 loaves. The 5,000 people weren't even worried. Philip, like me, just got caught up in what he saw. He got caught up in the logic. Let me challenge you. You are believing Jesus Christ. Don't get caught up in the logic. Get caught up in the Savior. It's never going to make sense. And it's still going to work. There was no way that that little bit of food should have been able to feed those people. But just to demonstrate that the man was already off, Jesus made it too much. You don't have to
keep trying to figure it out. All you have to do is take what you have, put it in the hands of the multiplier. I don't care if your family's just got a little bit of love. I don't care if your job's just got a little bit of opportunity. I don't care if your bank account's just got a little bit of money. It's not for you to figure out. It's for you to do what God said for you to do. Put the rest in his hand. Wasn't it cute of Jesus to say, what shall we do? Jesus, what shall we do? As if he was saying, where should we go to lunch today? Where should we vacation? When he knew all along that he had what it took for his people. But the Bible says that he tested Philip. He knew what he was going to do. Is God testing you? By having the question proposed, what are you going to do about the situation in your life? What are you going to do about it? So what we sit and do, calculate. Who do I need to get rid of? Who do I need to connect to? What job do I need to take? What loan should I apply for? We sit and we calculate instead of putting it in the hands of God. Because God already knows. Think about your situation. And think about the fact that God is sitting there looking at you saying, what shall you do about your situation? And he already knows. He already knows I'm about to take this thing. And not only am I going to work it out for you, I'm going to make it so you got so much at the end, you don't even know what to do with it. Your math is messed up. My math is messed up. I forgot to count one thing. I forgot to count Jesus. The doors of the church are open. If there's somebody here today that wants to give your life to Christ, why don't you come? If there's somebody here today that has known Christ and somehow strayed away, got a little messed up over your math, would you come? The second appeal is if there's somebody here today who's never known Jesus and said, you know what? I need somebody in my life that can do something about the little bit that I have. I want to grow my faith, but I need to link up with God so that he can help me.